Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Hello. It's got Greg Hartwick, this mage asshole. We should ban him. Jenni Morgan, and Ethan Granny.
Who? What? Oh, that's the guests. I'm sorry. Hello, Heathen Granny. Hello, Greg. How are you today? I trust you're having a fine and lovely February. It's in such a glorious month with such memorable and interesting international events happening. I can't wait till we own Red, White, and Blue land.
Well, see here. Today is Charles Lincoln Day. So that means...
Chucky!
February 12th marks an extraordinary day in the annals of history as it commemorates significant events that have shaped the world in various ways, marking the birth of both Abraham Lincoln and Charles Darwin.
Well, at least both of those people evolved, unlike the Republicans of today, who are still dragging their knuckles and drooling in the closet. I'm not particularly happy with things these days. Let's just put it that way.
Well, at least some of them are waking up to what's going on. We should encourage them.
Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they're not waking up. They're realizing that what's going on is going to hurt them. Okay, they haven't stood there and said, "Oh, well, gee, maybe I regret my thing because so many innocent people who need help and assistance are going to starve or die." They don't care about that. They care about themselves, and that's
I'll still take it.
small brand of evolution.
Now, if it puts them on our side, I'll take it.
Yeah, but see, it doesn't, because they'll forget it by next go around.
I'm not so sure. I've run into people who didn't forget it before. Oh, hello, Kentucky Atheist.
Hey, Ka.
Let's see, how many do we have watching? 7? Maybe I'll wait a little bit longer. So, what's been going on with you, Jenny?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do when coffee goes as high percentage-wise as eggs. They're talking about that now.
Well, I've got chickens, so I maybe I can sell a dozen eggs and fix my teeth. I mean, I was looking at about $20,000 bill, so.
Oh well, that's about 2 dozen.
Yeah, okay, 2 dozen, cool.
I actually did hear that somebody was charging like $18 a carton.
Damn. Well, for farm fresh eggs, I can believe that, actually.
Oh, come on. Who has farm fresh eggs in American cities?
I do.
None of them. You're not in a city.
I'm technically it's technically a city.
You're on your property, which is more like the great western skies. No, we don't want to say that. That's bad too. Who wants to be in the West? Oh well. You have DeSantis for fertilizer since you plugged him in the ground there. That's.
It's too rich. It kills everything.
Oh God Almighty!
We gotta compost them first, and let it break down over time.
Well, a little later in the show, I have some very interesting numbers to offer to people, just as an illustration of what kind of people we're really dealing with these days.
Well, I guess maybe I should cover this thing I was looking at here with the U.S. aid?
Oh, sure.
All right. Might as well get this out of the way before we get to the fun stuff. So I was over here at the White House Gov, and they were talking about the wasteful spending of the U.S. aid on this. And they have a whole list here. So we have 1.5 million into advanced diversity, equity, and inclusion. Oh dear, how horrible! In India's workplaces and business communities. By the way, this is linking to the Daily Mail. Daily Mail. All these basically going to. A lot of these are going to Daily Mail. Let's see here. This one doesn't go to Daily Mail. To fund tourism in Egypt. Well, no, that's not what it's funding. That's completely a lie. I looked at the cited source, and it is United States Agency International Development and signed a bilateral assistance agreement. And it's basically helping them with the infrastructure for transportation and water waste and things like that.
Oh, they can't have that. That portation stuff is not meant to be in the hands of trans people.
Oh, and economic livelihood programming for families. So it doesn't say any goddamn thing about tourism here. So that one's a complete lie. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations. Okay, that one might actually be legit. So that's one, but it's only a few thousand. It's talking about a few $100,000. So it's like the lowest end thing.
Yeah, but you know why they wanted to get rid of the terrorist hunters, so to speak, because they know that they had discovered them. Or I can put that better. That they would discover themselves.
Let's see, millions to Eco Health Alliance, which was involved in research in the Wuhan lab. So there's this blaming on the whole COVID thing.
Yeah, he's still not over COVID.
Kind of wish. We'll get into that. We'll finish that sentence. Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to terrorist organizations. Okay, that one is not actually the fault of U.S. aid. I looked at that one. And what happened was it was basically a terrorist organization skimming off the top of, illegally skimming off the top of what was sent for other people. So that wasn't even funding that was actually going directly to terrorist organizations or anything. So that was funding to print personalized contraceptive birth control devices in developing countries. I don't even see how that one's a problem.
Well, see, you don't understand what problem means. For these guys, problem means they don't like it.
Hello.
Period.
So they don't like developing countries having birth control?
No, of course not.
I thought they were against the darkies reproducing.
Don't use that word even.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, but see, helping overrides everything. If you want to help somebody, you are absolutely a demon. You are a left-wing demon who probably sleeps with puppies. I don't, it's.
Let's see, hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer used to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan. Yeah, the money was being used in that way, but I imagine it's probably going there for food production. It was just got used in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So again, probably not really direct fault of U.S. aid. So I don't know. That's what I got on that. I mean, they say there's a whole bunch more that they didn't list here, but they're probably a lot of the stuff that they have is just made up bullshit.
Well, see, now that we can absolutely agree on. All these guys are is bullshit. Everything they say is a lie. I mean, they're proclaiming the economy being so absolutely horrible. Yeah, we're still living under Biden's economy, and it's fucking wonderful. You know, even a person like me who's on an extremely limited income can survive just fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd
that's
say
going to
it's
change.
wonderful, but
Well, no, it's not. I mean, I used to make 50, 60 K a year, and I was very comfortable and could have all kinds of luxury bullshit. But
Yeah.
I'm not that anymore. I'm old and retired, and everything is just fine. You know, it's now it's going to start to be trouble with Trump around. But that's their intention. They do not like anybody. They just like their own rich guys. In fact, if they could get rid of all the other rich guys, they probably would. They just want their money. That's all this is about: is money and control.
yeah, I know. I think to be for contraceptives, less abortions. Oops.
Yeah, but you see, if you give them contraceptives, yes, it should theoretically lower abortion rates, but it will also provide pleasure. And that is an absolute commandment to not allow. Nobody is allowed to have pleasure who's less than the 1%.
And I dismiss a lot of the ones with talking about DEI and all that, since they're only linking back to Daily Mail, which is basically a UK tabloid right-wing rag. And I just don't trust the source. I'd have to do more digging, which I didn't have time for.
I'm surprised they're not using a different source like National Enquirer.
Yeah. About the equivalent.
Mm-hmm. Right up there with the New York Post. 119 over 83. That's way too high. See what you've done to me, Trump?
Well, maybe I can relax here a little bit.
My blood pressure 2 nights ago was 77 over 41.
Oh.
Yeah. I can't wait to tell my doctor that one. She'll freak. Were you lightheaded? No, I was fine.
Well, for the occasion, I was actually working on a little song earlier off of Suno, a nice little AI site I've been playing around with lately.
Okay, give me a second. I'm going to go out to the kitchen. Sure. And no, you sing while I'm gone.
Oh, I'm not going to be singing. I got a music video put together here.
Oh, okay.
It's not a music video, but something. Well, it's not exactly something to watch. I only had time to get a stack image on, but we can play it here. So here it is.
Evolution is the change over time in a group's genetics from one generation to the next. As they split and divide, we get new species, all remaining in a nested hierarchy. This gives us the birds and the trees, the flowers and the bees, and animals like you and me. Evolution is the change over time in a group's genetics over many generations. What benefits or not depends on the environment. This is natural selection at work. There's also the genetic drift and the flow, and all the mutations that build up over time. That's how we got the birds and the trees, the flowers and the bees, and animals like you and me.
Hope you guys like that. I write the lyrics and I let the AI music thing and put the work in. Hello. And we got a stool. Hello. Haven't seen you around in a while. Yeah, it's commies. Yes, I've been having way too much fun with the Suno thing lately. Probably be making more songs as well. So we just wait for Jenny to get back here. What else is going on?
I never left. I just muted my mic and didn't remember it. I had one I wanted to play. I got a new ringtone and I just wanted to share it with everybody. Now let me go dig it up. It won't be terribly hard to do.
Okay.
I actually paid money for this as a ringtone, and I'm so happy that I have it.
It's telling Trump to funk off, isn't it?
No, not just Trump. Here goes.
Okay, we don't hear anything. Nope, not hearing it. Okay. Yeah, really, who does that anymore, huh? No, we didn't hear it.
What? You didn't hear it?
We didn't hear it.
Oh my gosh. Well, then I don't know what to do because I can't do both then. It's a POS. You can find it in various music stores. Piece of shit. And it's you're a piece of shit. Fuck your therapy. No one cares. And it's just a good little reminder of who I am. That, of course, is just the chorus. The song has more lyrics than just that. Hey, Kentucky, you could come up here if you want.
Suko?
Yeah.
US?
Yeah.
Come on. Pause so I can get this thing. Oh, that one. Okay.
Tubi, and it actually cost about 15 to 20 million for the whole group.
And this one here? Whole thing.
Yeah, it might get kind of raw. But when I came across it, I just had to have it. It was so descriptive of how I feel about myself most days.
Oh, let's see here.
I'd like to offer a little advertisement here. Now I know a lot of you people don't want to go on to TikTok because you believe all the bullshit you've been told. But in truth, TikTok has some extremely talented, extremely intelligent, highly trained and educated professionals on it, as well as some children. Did you know that you're not even allowed to use TikTok under 18? They still do, but the intent is not to have anybody under 18. Anyways, yeah, you can see a bunch of garbage on there, but you can also have some very serious discussions about a whole range of topics. Every night there are people who are discussing politics and sexuality and international relations and all kinds of stuff. at a very high level, higher than you hear on mainstream media and the pundits and stuff on there. Anyways, one of the other very delightful things are very talented musicians who are just the guy down the street who either writes their own material or can do cover pieces that are just stunningly great. One guy features, I don't want to say children, young, almost going to be adults who know how to play instruments, like these 8 to 12-year-old girls who can play heavy metal better than Metallica or anybody else you've ever heard. Okay. And things like this. They're just excellent music. Some of the people who write their own stuff are just fucking great to listen to. You go look up a guy. What's his first name again? I forget. Last name is Wells, Wells, and you can find his stuff at iTunes if you use it. He has YouTube stuff also. I just forget the first name at this moment. He's just kind of a bushy hair kid. I think he's a cross between Bob Dylan and John Prine. Some of his lyrics are absolutely brilliant. They're all political, and they're musically pleasing. I would definitely recommend listening to some of his stuff. In fact, if you looked it up on YouTube and played a piece for people, I'm sure they would enjoy it. And it's on YouTube. It can't be illegal to play it, can it?
You can get danged, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's great. And like I said, there's others. I encourage people to, if you can download it, I don't know if it's been continued or started up again to be able to do that. It's well worth the effort because you don't have to provide them with anything. You don't have to type in anything. You can just listen. So that's that. Oh, look who's here. Stool.
You just noticed, huh?
My favorite lab experiment. How about that? How you doing, Stool? What? I can't be excited that I have a ringtone. I've never had one in 20 years of having a cell phone now.
Yeah, I could have gotten that for you for free.
Well, I don't mind paying. I like to actually pay for artists' work. Having been one myself and had people steal my work. Oh. I had a guy who made a catalog, stole one of my pictures to put on his cover. And he actually did go into production, and he was building the catalog himself and printing it himself. So he didn't have a lot of copies out there, but I came across it, and just one email, I said, that's my photograph, and I forbid you to use it unless you want to pay me money. And I said, pay me $1,000 and it's yours. Use it as often as you want for the rest of your life. But he pulled the catalog.
Well, since I'm writing the lyrics for these AI songs I'm generating, I might, after I build up enough of a catalog of songs, ones I might offer or put an offer out for any real musician to play the songs, for themselves, just giving me credit and all that,
Well, it's worth a try, but you got to get it out there for people who look for those things go. And Twitter is what our TikTok is one of those things.
I'm not using TikTok.
You should.
I'm not interested in TikTok. I hate the format.
Okay. I don't see how it's different than YouTube, but well, it is real different because it limits how much time you can put in. I think you can do up to 3 minutes now. But I don't remember for sure. Sorry, I'm just flexing my back and feeling good when it cracks.
Okay.
So, how's your weather down there in the warm part of the country?
It's actually starting to get warm.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you up to 90?
No, not that warm. Still comfortable.
See, you call that warm. We call that really fucking hot.
See, it's apparently currently 81.
Well, see, that's a nice temperature up here when it's not humid. Oh, when it's humid, I hate the 80s. They're way too high.
And 70% humidity.
That's way, way too high.
That's pretty common.
Nobody should be allowed to have that kind of weather. It's just deadly.
No, wait until you get the 100% humidity. That's always fun.
Oh, I've been at the worst humidity I've ever been in was in North Carolina at a car event. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have said that. It was in August, and it was so humid it was foggy. And the sun was still shining and beating down on you, but you were in fog, and just absolutely dying. And the place that was sponsoring the location was decided that they should sell water to the people who were really, really, really hot. And so they sold these little 6-ounce bottles for $5 fucking. And this is in 1995. $5 for a bottle of water, 6 ounces. The people who organized the event promised they would never be back with that kind of piracy for people who are suffering. Because most of the people there were not from Carolina; they're from up north, and they just don't care.
Sounds like a fair around here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that too. High finished or unfinished, I guess, is more proper.
Well, get around to finishing already.
You have snow in the Netherlands. Well, isn't that normal? I mean, aren't you about the same latitude as we are? Oh, see, I said we, not really remembering. We're talking with the whole country. Aren't you about the same latitude as like Minnesota?
Let's see here. Netherlands, 52.811326 degrees north by 5.2913 degrees east.
I'm around 45. No, I'm sorry. That was latitude or longitude. I'm about 90. I'm about 45 degrees north.
And Minnesota is 46.72996 degrees north by 94.68559 degrees west.
What?
No, that's what it said.
That's not correct. Minnesota at 47 degrees? No. I don't know exactly what the numbers in Minnesota would be, but I know that in Wisconsin, you can go right to the point on the planet where 45 and 90 come together, which for Earth watchers is something significant to them. But there's actually a marker, and you can go to the small town's marker and stand and be at that precise location on the globe.
Let's see here. Latitude, longitude finder. World maps of worlds. 43 degrees, 34 north to 49 23 north. Latlong.net. 46.39 in 241 to minus 9 in 463.623.0. Latitude 46.3E9241 and 0.
I forget how many miles are between each latitude degree.
I don't know.
Let's see, there's 90 and then 90, so that's 180 divided by 25,000, or 25,000 divided by 180. And I can't do that in my head. I can barely add in my head.
Yeah, we're getting into one of my worst subjects in school, so.
Which brings me to these numbers I mentioned. What kind of audience size we got out there?
According to the thing, we have 8 viewers.
8 viewers.
According to me, so if yours says well, that means we got 6 viewers.
I think I'm going to see if the audience grows a little bit more. I accumulated some numbers which taken as a whole will represent exactly what kind of people we're dealing with in terms of how they refer to things and who they hate. You'll enjoy it thoroughly. Just let's see here. Turn the page. Where is that now? Oh yes. We'll be talking about the extraordinary action they're taking against 0.000043% of the United States population. And telling the public that there's this horrible plague at the same time, instead of telling the truth.
Thought they were trying to cover up the plague.
No. They're dramatizing. They're telling dramatic lies to fool people into doing what they want. You know, it's like elections. You lie your ass off, and 77 million people will believe anything.
What? So isn't a bird flu pandemic going on? We're close to it.
No, okay. I guess we'll just get into this then. Nobody knows for sure. It's one of the down things about this population. Nobody keeps an exact count of these people, how many people there are. And it's for a variety of reasons, mostly self-protective, but also a lot of none of your damn business about it. And that would be my favorite subject, trans people. In the military, it is believed there's about 15,000 trans people serving. Now, in the military, the reason that people don't know exactly what that number is, just like in regular society, you don't have to identify yourself as trans if you're in the military. You don't have to. A lot of people who are in the military and trans don't need any care except their, usual HRT dosage that they buy, which insurance covers anyways. And for a lot of other ones, they are frightened to tell, don't tell kind of thing. And so we just don't know the exact numbers. Okay. And that goes for the public too. That's why you hear people saying, oh, there's anywhere between 1.5 and 0.5% of trans people in the United States. You know, a minuscule population. But in the military, we're going to assume that it's 15,000. Now, the entire medical budget of the military, that's all branches of the military, all personnel of the military, whatever services they need, is $35.6 billion a year, which is up there. There's certainly no doubt about that. And in the United States, of course, there's about 350 million people, 347, 275, 807. And that's a 2025 estimate because we only do the official census every 10 years. And that 15,000 people who represent trans in the military is 0.0000431% of the total U.S. population. And you add a couple more zeros to that, 6 total to be exact, and that's the percentage of. Well, no, we're not going to say no. I screwed up that number. I'm not going to pass that one on. Trans people. Let's see here. I'm looking down my poorly written notes here. Oh, yes, there are 2.86 million people in the military. Okay, now they don't say what job. They don't go into the job classifications or anything, so we just have to take their number as is, face value, that it's everybody in the military. They break it down into about 770,000 in the Guard and Reserves, about 1.2 million in active duty.
Say about 15,000 trans in the military.
Which comes out to about, if I did this right, 00. Oh, I really took bad notes here. I'm sorry, folks.
Well, see, looking up, we currently have about 1,284,500 active troops. So 1,500 of that is 1.16%.
15,000.
15,000 and 1.16%, or about 1.17% if you round it up.
Actually, my number's lower than that, but what the fuck?
Well, it's probably
what the point of this is that these guys are spending, like in the election, they spent $250,000 to attack trans people, which are 1.7 to 0.5% of the population. In the military, their number is absolutely beyond minuscule. It's microscopic. Now here's one of the more fun things. Let me find this number to be sure I'm saying it right. In the military, the most recent count, which I believe is in 2022 or 23, there are 1,800. Okay, so we went from 15,000 down to 1,800 trans people. Let's round it out, 1,900 trans people receiving treatment in the military. So it's not 15,000. It's 1,900 people.
1,900, okay.
Okay. And that breaks down. Let's see. We don't want to misquote here. dollars spent are something like 11 million on psychotherapy, $340,000 on HRT, and about 3.1 million on surgical costs. You add that all up, and you could, let's just call it the trans cost is about 15 million 22,263.
That's nothing for a military budget.
Oh yeah, 15 million. They'll blow off 2 missiles from a goddamn F-18, and that's it. You just equaled that number. It's ridiculous. Now, what do you think also gets spent more often in the military medical systems than trans people?
Probably just about everything else.
How about my favorite, Viagra?
Oh,
The military spends over $84 million a year on Viagra for personnel. Now, trans people don't use Viagra because their whole goal is the exact opposite of what Viagra does. So trans people are just not using that number. And so the generals and everybody can get their Viagra so they can get their little weenie up. But people can't get life preserving, gender affirming care. And that would spread out to any women who are in the military who needs HRT. They're not going to be able to get that anymore. Women are going through menopause who are soldiers and stuff, and they need help with that. There's not going to be any precocious puberty in the military, but there will be in military families, and their costs, are under the same budget. So this matters. There's children out there with precocious puberty, which if you don't do something about, can create very severe damage to a young girl's anatomy and physiology, and project further into the future with issues.
I'm surprised at how early an age that can start too.
Oh yeah, there's been precocious puberty that I've heard of all the way down to 5-6 years old.
You can even get even younger than that. I've even heard younger than that.
Wow, that's shocking.
Yeah.
Why it hurts people for the future is because all the growth plates in your skeletal system are activated in puberty like they are not the rest of your life. And you can just grow all these things that aren't growing with the rest of you, and it's just going to damage how well structured your anatomy is.
I can imagine that would be a problem.
There's also the attitude of many people that, and this is so crude, but it's so accurate to what these fuckers believe in, is if they're old enough to bleed, they're old enough to breed, which means that they are interested in having babies with 12-year-olds on the average, but they don't think anything about 8 or 9 years old either. And a pregnancy at that age can kill a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just completely inappropriate. And so if they want to discontinue HRT for children, well, okay, but understand the results. That's all I'm saying.
Like my usual go-to with was that example of the 10-year-old who was diddled by your father and got pregnant, and then was unable to get the abortion and had to go out of state because of the crap that we've done with Roe versus Wade.
There have been over 16,000.
Yeah, it's not the only example too, but it's a good one.
Rapes in the red states since they took away Roe, which was 2021, and they don't care. Go die in that parking lot. We don't care about you. So just look at you can see on your own publicly through media and various interviews and sound bites, just how vehemently opposed they are to trans people and how they use us as their number one horrible thing in society, when we're anything but. I mean, there's still people going around and say that we're the pedos and groomers and stuff like that. You know, like Nancy Mace has screamed that at the top of her lungs in Congress, and it's just not true. It's just not true. Anyways, this calculation I'm going to have to go over again, but I'm still going to give it to you. I'm not sure I did it right. I am very, very poor at math, even with a calculator, folks. But if I did this right, the taxpayer portion, and this is before individual citizens with income tax returns, not corporate, not foreign, nothing, just the Americans who are filing a 1040. The cost for them to support trans people in the military is 0.1%. Or, well, that percent means by 10, so that would be 1 cent. 1 fucking cent out of each taxpayer covers double the coverage, triples the coverage. No, let's see, 350, it's about 40 times, 50 times more money, the 1.0, 0.1 cent. It's just ridiculous. You understand the point I'm making.
Yeah.
That they will be so vehement for such a minor expense in terms of the national budget and the trillions that we spend.
You know, it kind of goes along with the whole make a whole law just to ban one person in the state.
Oh yeah. It's like the NCAA statistic of trans people in sports. Everybody's got to talk about such. Oh, those terrible trans people in women's sports. Blah 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 blah. Well, out of 500,000 athletes, it's only 10 people. Okay, we're not talking a lot of people in women's sports here who are trans. 10 people out of 500,000. 10 people, and all this effort and expenses on arguing and bill pushing, and I'm tired of us being used as the target for them to raise money. And now it's getting to the point where we're going to have to be concerned about whether or not we're going to end up in Guantanamo Bay. So if you're an ally, you have better than writing letters to your congressperson and senator. They actually do count those things, and it does matter. Email works too, but an actual letter with a stamp is a very impressive thing to a legislator because so few people do it. So if we get enough people doing it, they're going to have to stand back and say, maybe we're going in the wrong direction. And I beg you for helping us out. We don't want to die. We're good people.
But what if your representative is Dick Scott?
Skeletor?
No, he's not Skeletor.
He's close.
Actually, I found a much better example of what he is.
What?
Let me see if I can get it. He's more like Kane from Poltergeist.
Oh, I never saw Poltergeist. Okay. So who's that? What character is that?
He's the main. Kane is the main antagonist in the Poltergeist. He's
a pseudo devil, or a citizen who just enjoys watching all this pain and suffering.
Backstory is, well, do you know the story of Poltergeist? The little girl who meets these ghosts. They kidnap her, bring her to the other side. They have to rescue her, and then she keeps getting plagued by this one. And the main antagonist, who's this evangelical cult leader who died, and he's trying to find his way to the other side, and he thinks he can do it through this little girl.
Oh, that is kind of creepy.
But I was just kind of looking at the images here, and let's get these up. So we have Oh, shut up, Duncan. That's my bird. If you hear him. But
Mm-mm.
there's a Dick Scott, and here's Kane.
Holy fuck, you're right.
Again, Dick Scott.
Oh, please send
Kane.
those both to me, please. and spelling of
Yes,
that
he was a
character's
preacher.
name.
Kane with a K. Kane.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That's an excellent comparison. I'm very pleased to see that. That's that's great.
One more time.
And you know how Republicans would love being compared to something anti-religious.
Oh, but this guy's very religious. He
is.
Yeah, he was like a kind of an evangelical cult leader is what he was in life, and then he led his people down, and they all died together, and that's how he ended up becoming this poltergeist thing.
Oh, okay. I get it. I thought he was a average citizen and was seeking help from demons to do something nefarious.
No, he effectively turned himself into a demon.
Oh. Huh. Maybe you should put it into kit form. Could make a lot of money. Yeah, I'm a demon. So are you.
Yes, he was a preacher in life.
Well, you know how I feel about preachers and that sort of thing. So they're not nice people. So I don't know, folks out there in chat. Tell me if you think I'm overreacting or whatever. I don't think I am, but I'm open to your opinions on that.
Possibility of trans people being sent into Guantanamo. There is a possibility of that.
Yes, there is. There absolutely is. This is not. I mean, people before the election thought, "Oh, that's just ridiculous." Well, open your eyes, folks, and see it happening right in front of your face.
What is this? We got a purple in the chat.
Get your ass in here, lady.
Junie, yep. Hello, everybody.
Into a cave to white out the apocalypse. Okay, that sounds like it'll work. And I started smoking again. Damn it.
Well, everything's on fire, and you missed the flying monkeys.
Oh, I haven't seen Wicked.
No,
I assume they have flying monkeys in that.
that's just why my wife says if you ever miss what I miss, it's always the flying monkeys.
Let's see, how's it going? Perp wants to get a report here.
Like I said, everything's on fire, and you missed the flying monkeys.
Yeah, you risk some ringtones, and there hasn't been too much foul language though. I think I slipped in the first 10, but
I played my Evolution song.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to play it again, since we got more people here.
As you wish.
All right, play it again.
Oh, Sumami, you're eating and listening, boy. How that bounces around in my brain. I'm sorry, lady.
No, I did. Now, I wrote the lyrics. I let the AI Suno who do the music.
Evolution is the change over time in a group's genetics from one generation to the next. As they split and divide, we get new species, all remaining in a nested hierarchy. This gives us the birds and the trees, the flowers and the bees, and animals like you and me. Evolution is the change over time in a group's genetics over many generations. What benefits or not depends on the environment. This is natural selection at work. There's also the genetic drift and the flow, and all the mutations that build up over time. That's how we got the birds and the trees, the flowers and the bees, and animals like you and me.
Yeah, I guess I'm having way too much fun with Suno.
So you write the lyrics and feed it to the AI, and it creates the music based on your lyrics?
Yeah, and then it gives me like a few choices, and sometimes I have to re-roll it a few times to get exactly what I'm looking for, or close to what I'm looking for.
Oh, like what type of music? You know, jazz or
Yeah,
rock
well,
or
it does have a thing that you can put in what type of music you're looking for, and you can actually put negative prompts in to exclude certain types, and then it'll generate like a couple of options. And if you don't quite like what either of the options, you can generate it again, and it gives you. It has like a number of credits it will take away every time you generate something.
Interesting. How many people out there in the chat have actually used one of the AI generators and if continued to do it? I'd be real interested because I haven't. I've tried ChatGPT, whatever, when it first showed up, and I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it at all. I need somebody to tutor me.
Yeah, in fact, the Ivy Chandler just had a song up on their channel.
I hear that little Elon Musk is putting together a group of people to buy ChatGPT or something like that.
Well, in fact, Ivy, would you be okay if I played your new song?
Yeah, sure.
I'll just waiting for permission, but
as long as it's the AI singing, not you.
No, it's Ivy. It's Ivy's lyrics, so I'm asking permission. So it is Ivy's song.
Oh, okay.
So I want to get permission before.
It's hard to write song lyrics. I tried once years ago, and
I've been having fun with it.
I've never been good with poetry, and music is like poetry on steroids, and I just can't do it.
Well, waiting. Let's see here. I got another song I put together. Let's see. This one I kind of had this one in the back of my head for a while, but I actually tried to put together a playlist of different songs to kind of tell the story, but it didn't quite work out. But this is kind of nice.
To the sky as the world crumbles around us and the darkness takes over. The world calls out for a hero, but no one hears our cries. I'm not a hero. I cannot save the world. The world needs a hero. Who will be the hero we need? We're trapped in a prison made of our ignorance and fear. The darkness surrounds us and takes over. We're falling off the edge. What can I do? I'm not superhuman. The world needs a hero. Is there a hero in me? The darkness surrounds us. We can't let this world fall apart. We need a hero to save us. I'm gonna stand up and be the hero I need. The world needs a hero. I'll be the hero we need. the hero you need.
That's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time trying to get that together.
Unfinished. If you wrote that
Right.
again instead of using flipping, say overturn, you probably get what you're looking for.
Yeah,
Unless you wanted the backflip.
I gotta say, it still wasn't 100% what I was looking for with that song. There's a few things I would have made different changes to, but for going through dozens of iterations to get what I was trying to get close to, what I was after.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, Ivy gave permission to use the song, so I'll put that one up.
Now, does she sing it in Ivy's voice? Or?
No, it's a AI Suno thing, just like what I've been doing.
That was a question I wanted. Can you customize the voice, like ask it to do something gravelly, like Tom Waits? Or
Yes, you can, and
okay.
you can even upload a voice if you have permission, like your own voice,
Mm-hmm.
and then use that.
Oh, okay.
It will adjust the singing.
Neat.
All right.
Neat. Welcome to the 1950s.
Humpty Dumpty sat on his wall, talking big, talking tall. Took a dive to the other side, landed hard in razor wire. Tangled up, screaming loud, Mexicans laughing, oh so proud. Try to glue him back again, but Humpty's cracked beyond repair. No army of muskrats, no Fox News cash can fix his ego, can't fix the crash. Try all they want, but he's out of luck. Something said I, now he's stuck. I heard the news, it made me smile, so I wrote this song in heavy style. Then the real Trump D saw it online and lost his mind in record time. He cried, whoever made this shit up, you're getting deported. But joke's on him, oh Dutch, he can't afford it. No army of muskrats, no Fox News cash can't fix his ego, can't fix the crash. Try all they want, but he's out of luck. Sometimes shattered, now he's stuck. He cried, whoever made this shit up, you're getting deported. But joke's on him, I'm Dutch, he can't afford it. No worry of muskrats, no Fox News cash can't fix his ego, can't fix the crash. Try all they want, but he's out of luck. Tom got his shattered, now he's stuck. Humpty Dumpty fell so hard, now he's crying in the yard. No walls, no plans, no MAGA pride, just a broken egg on the other side.
Well, that was also very good. I like that. Ivy has a lovely voice. I think you should post that on Twitter. Yours too, man. You should throw it out in the ether and let people hear it.
Yeah, actually, I do plan and put that hero one on my channel. Well, probably next week. I want to get something in between the music videos, so it's not just a string of music videos on the channel.
Unfinished. Can you get that to me on Twitter, or to me or Mage on Twitter, and so we can share it with everybody? I love AI pictures. Some of them are so bad, and they seem to have taken care of the finger problem, though.
Almost. I still see finger problems.
They got to figure out a way to fix the writing, because as soon as you see the characters, you know it's a bunch of bullshit.
Like, let's see here. Something I recently covered. The Fantastic Four poster. Why is this? That should not be. Oh, that's the reason why. Yeah, so we had this poster recently. It was released for the Fantastic Four movie that's coming up, and a lot of people were pointing out some stuff in here that they were claiming it was AI, but they were saying, "Oh no, this isn't AI at all."
Oh, it totally looks AI.
Well, we go in here you see. First of all, we have this guy's hand right there.
1, 2, 3. Oh, okay.
We go a little closer up. We can see 1, 2, 3, and there's no fourth finger. So that was one big thing that people.
Although it does look very natural.
But there's more here. They had this hand here, which kind of looks like the fingers kind of melting into the hand. There's all 5 fingers there, but.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then we had this thing here where we have the lady clones in the crowd.
Oh yeah. That's an excellent reproduction of a Rolleiflex twin lens reflex. God, yeah. That was such a great fucking camera.
Just out of curiosity, is she holding that thing right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no. If they had the top lid up and on the sports finder, she would be holding it right. But normally you have to be looking down on the thing.
Ah, okay.
Twin lens reflex means the bottom lens is used for the actual image, and the top lens is used for cropping and focusing. But they always have a problem with parallax correction, so you can't get too terribly close with a TLR.
So you wouldn't actually be holding it up like this and trying to look through it the way she is?
No. The finder, or the viewfinder has a little hood that when you pop up the top of that camera, it comes up with 4 dark slides that fit together, so you have darkness as you look down to the ground glass. But if you push another button on many of them, the front panel of those 4 opens up, and there's a hole in the rear one, so that if you look through the hole, you can see what the viewfinder is going to, or the camera is going to record based on the edges of the viewfinder that they've built. It's not perfectly accurate, and they call it a sports finder because you're looking and your head is still up, so you can see who's about to run you over in the football field before it actually does. I would love to have a Rolleiflex though. It's those good Zeiss lenses again, and I should say German optics.
I also noticed this lady's hand, how the fingers are done, where she's got like this huge swollen index finger.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm thinking this is AI.
Let's see the guy next to him with the camera. Let's see what we can tell about that camera.
It'd be a good idea since you're the expert on cameras.
Okay, and that's a 35 millimeter rangefinder type camera. You have 2 little viewers, one for focusing, usually using a split image, and the other for viewing and cropping. And that is looks like a Leica camera, and an M1 or 2. I'm not sure.
Oh,
And that has about 135 millimeter telephoto lens on it.
all right, and also might be worth noting. I don't know if this is important or not, but this is supposed to be taking place sometime in the 1960s.
Yeah, that would have been normal. That would
Okay.
have been normal. This camera, the Leica M, well, it's up to the M3 now, I believe, is still very highly respected and used by many photographers. The optics and things on it are just so superb. They're very cool. They also used to be the camera of choice for courtroom photographers because it wasn't a single lens reflex, which has that bit loud noise with the mirror moving, which we all now have on our cell phones. But because it's just a straight through image lens to film, no bouncing, it's very quiet and it can go instead of kadunk. And so you can use it in a confidential place very quietly. I mean, somebody could still hear it, but it's very, very quiet, and people aren't really going to think much about it. Whereas on a SLR, it's so totally obvious what you're doing. That's one of the reasons that nowadays you can get a DSLR, which is a digital single lens reflex. But you could also buy headless. They're called headless or mirrorless DS or digital cameras that have kind of look like a Leica in that image, but are all digital and just go a light click because there's a separate viewfinder for all your business. Instead of having to look down into the camera, you look through the camera.
Well, anyway, the big controversy is they were pointing out all these errors that are pretty clearly AI, and Marvel is saying, no, this is not AI at all.
No, that's completely wrong. Oh, by the way, those Leicas, you can still spend a couple grand on one of those suckers.
Yeah, I'm thinking what they did was they generated it with AI and then they fixed up the posters and stuff so they're more legible.
Well, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I can tell it's AI, but just from the quality of the image. But yeah, that's not objectionable. Well, it is because they're not employing artists.
Well, I'm objecting to it because they're claiming it's not AI at all. They're saying that they hired an artist and they drew this.
Oh, people are saying, or the studio is claiming that?
The Marvel Studios, Disney and Marvel Studios is saying this is not AI.
Oh, that's very inappropriate for them to be doing that. That's just bullshit. Remember back to analog days. I don't know if anybody else had this ability or that it even mattered to anybody else, but weird people like me. I could watch TV in the old days, and I could tell if it was created on film or on video. And as video improved, you could see the steps in the resolution change and stuff like that, and the color composition. But when broadcast film and digital have a very, very different image quality, and you can feel it. You can look at it and say, "Oh yeah," and that's one of the reasons I think. Well, me certainly believes that digital, as good as it is, has still got a ways to catch up to film. Just because you can see the image in digital feels video-y. Not that it is a video, but it has the kind of crispness that you would get out of video, whether it's digital or analog. And film has a certain softness at the same time of sharpness, and digital has not equaled that yet. I used to think that the bark for digital can't possibly catch up to film in any short period of time was that you couldn't do star trails with digital in the beginning. And of course, now you can. Some spectacular star trails you can do with digital. So I really missed the bat on that one.
All right. Well, keep talking. I gotta get up real quick.
And then when it comes to masturbation, you can take a digital camera. Nice. Yeah, and take pictures, and you don't have to worry about the guy at the drugstore, having you arrested. So that's always an advantage of digital. Does anybody else do that, or is it just me? Yes, a Leica. Twitter would be the easiest unfinished because I can grab it from there and bring it in here. And we have. Are you part of the direct mail chat thing that's going? If not, you can just do it on public, but that's up to you. You maybe don't want to do public.
Let's see. We mentioned some stuff on Charles Darwin. Probably could cover more on that, but what do we have on Abraham Lincoln?
Mage, could you blah, 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 give unfinished instructions on how to send that image to me on Twitter?
Oh, you're in the DM group?
I don't know.
Unfinished. I believe we added you to MidAmerican DM group and Purple's DM group here. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the easiest way. Now we have to talk about Lincoln. Have you noticed over the last 5 to 10 years that comedians are starting to use Lincoln as a machine or I don't know, a mechanism for comedy?
Really? I didn't notice.
I used to see Lincoln jokes on TV, and the audience would, and the community, what, too soon?
You know what? I don't see unfinished in our DM group list here. He certainly should be in there, though. How do we add people? Do you remember?
No, I don't. My memory is absolutely fried. Oh, unfinished says that they just sent it to me. Minolta X700.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Minolta made nice little cameras. A friend in high school, his first SLR was a Minolta SRT-101. Why do I remember this shit? Why is that in my head?
I don't know.
Of course, that was replaced in the early 70s with a 201. Oh, gosh. Well, I should go. Well, could you grab that picture and share it?
Well, I do not remember how to add people to a DM group, and so maybe Purple can do it later.
Oh, you should be able to go up to the add or the info little I thing, and under that it should say add person.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see your 3 dots. Pin, snooze, report conversation, delete conversation.
Yeah, I like that.
No, I don't see the option to add people, or maybe it's in the section. I don't see any 3 dots there. Yeah, well, fuck it.
They sent it to me. I'll put it on MidAmerica.
Preferred journey? All right. Well, maybe you can add them to the MidAmerican thing.
Yeah, I just did.
Okay.
Jesus flipping over the tables in the temple. There it goes.
All right. Blow that up a little bit.
Yeah, AI's got a way to go yet.
AI created image from the phrase Jesus is flipping over the table was in the temple. Yeah. Didn't quite understand that one, did it?
I didn't realize that Jesus was such an athlete. Yeah, the one seat is, let's see, there's 3 legs there, and I think that's a cushion on the end.
Yeah, it looks like there's 3 legs, but no seat.
And the table leg far away is straight, and this one is curved, and yeah, it's so accurate on the little nuances. Oh, and it looks like it has wheels too.
Yeah, it's on wheels. I definitely see wheels there.
Because we know that they use wheels back in those days on their furniture. Thank you, Unfinished. That's very nice.
Very entertaining.
And one last babble about cameras. If you happen to see a Rolleiflex twin lens reflex camera out on the market for sale, buy for me for my birthday. They're not too expensive, relatively speaking.
Only a few $1,000 or something like that.
No, I bet you could get one for $500-700 maybe. That's in mint condition.
For a vintage camera, that's really good. Man, I can see that.
It's really kind of surprising. You know, of course, it's new dollars versus old dollars. But in '72, when I bought my Hasselblad, I paid $660 for it, plus tax. And today, you go onto eBay or something like that, and they're almost twice that cost. Used. A 50, 60-year-old camera is still getting that kind of money used. God, I had this one lens, a 500 millimeter lens for the Hasselblad, which people, what? It was just a big honking lens that weighed about 20 pounds, honest to God. But it was the sharpest. Oh my God, it was so sharp. Telephoto I've ever seen in my life. And today I think I saw one on eBay a couple years ago for like $2,500, $3,000, something like that. For just this one lens that I paid, I think it was $800 for it back then. And I was the only person I've ever known who actually owned one. So Abraham Lincoln, huh?
Yeah, we got on Abraham Lincoln.
Did you write a song about?
No, I didn't do it. I was barely able to get the evolution one out.
Oh, okay. I think some lyrics would be great for an Abraham Lincoln song, talking about getting his head blown off and jumping down to the stage by Booth, and that would be fun. I had a friend that passed down through his family has an artifact from the day of Lincoln, where apparently they made a certain number of framed commemorative images that were about 11 by 14 inches, commemorating the assassination and his death, and each one had a tuft of his hair attached.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yes, it is, but we're talking 1800s here. They did things different.
That's still kind of weird for 1800s.
Well, they also used to make shirts out of hair, so and would weave what we would consider macrame, except they did it with hair.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll never forget the first time I saw one of those.
Oh, it's My Hero Academia is this guy is he has power to phase through things. So to keep his clothes on, he made a outfit out of his own hair.
You can find it. Let's see. How would I do that? What would I search for? I guess I just look for a search art, human hair. I'll probably dig up something on Google. I can go try that if you want.
Yeah. See, if I remember correctly, even though he had the whole his personal views on Blacksley, didn't exactly reflect his actions as president. I know that much, which I suppose is kind of a good thing for a president to do. If I remember correctly, his personal. If you ever hear of the early on, and some of the more bigoted people going, they should just go back home into their own country. Your argument. Ever heard that one?
No.
No, you never heard some bigot saying that about some black person?
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost context. Yes.
That was basically actually Abraham Lincoln's thoughts.
Yeah, he was not, shouldn't get the credit he does. He did the right thing, and he should have credit for that. But
like I said, his actions don't exactly reflect his personal views.
Yeah.
Which kind of is. I'll give him credit for being for that. I mean, that's a good thing to have for a president, I suppose.
Okay, that's still not the image I'm looking for, though. Oh, this is interesting. Modern day hair art.
Get some good sleep.
Oh no, that's not anything that we're talking about.
Oh, my good looking. I had an interesting dream of a kid who had super magical powers, and we can see you Jenny.
I'm sorry, I'm missing what you're showing.
I'm not showing anything.
You
hit your camera. You hit your camera button, and we could see your face.
Oh well, that's all right. I'm ugly, but shouldn't ruin anybody's equipment. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Found what you're looking for. Oh,
Yeah.
Demon Orb.
Okay, there it is. Let's steal the photograph.
Yeah, my dreams tend to tell full narratives. So the character in the story was this kid who had like really high magical powers. It's kind of a fantasy world. His parents died, so he's being raised by some other person, and who basically was sort of a pseudo mom. And then there was his instructor, who was the woman who was raising him, his sister. And he accidentally put an instructor into a coma, and was trying to find the magic to reverse what he did.
Okay, let's see here. MidAmerica, here's some hair shots. It's so weird. I've got five of them.
Baby.
Because seem to be very different
There, baby.
motifs that you can use.
Hair. All right, so the first one here we got. Got that one.
Oh, that's not the first one. That's like the. Oh wait, where am I? Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm got too many screens going here. Yes, I've never seen one of the art pieces that look like this, but that's very pretty actually. But it's all human hair. It was a Victorian age kind of thing. Go to the next one.
All right.
This is just a funeral commemoration memorial, whatever. It's pieces of the guy's head made into a little plaque. It's okay.
Oh boy. All right, and we got this thing here.
This is what I'm used to seeing, or the first type I saw. And so I stupidly assumed that was the only style that they did these things in. But the next one is a close couple. Next two are close-ups of this.
Next one here.
So you can see it's actually braiding and macrame kind of stuff, and it's just wild. This is the most detailed one I've ever seen.
Another close-up of that one, I guess.
Yeah. Just another treatment of the hair. Little hearts. Oh, that's so cute. So I mean, it's kind of gruesome in a way, but you know, what else did you do in those days?
Well, I have heard of situations where you would have to keep the actually body around for a while.
Oh, like Lennon and Mao Zedong.
The home would actually have keep the person's body at the home until they get buried.
Well, that would get rather stinky, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And then those death pictures, post-mortem pictures, but I can understand where they're coming from, because a lot of times back then that's like the only photograph they'd ever have of the person, especially with kids.
Ooh, Cook Country, they're making macaroni and cheese with extra sharp cheddar. Num num.
And speaking about those death photos, I actually was looking through some old photos that, in my family. I found one. It was of an infant.
A death picture?
Yeah.
Mm.
It was really kind of creepy. I don't know who it was, but it was somebody in my family.
Yeah, I queried the ether about that when I was a kid. And, you know, why don't they take pictures of people at a funeral? And not that I wanted to, but I'm just curious about it. And well, they do, just not so much anymore. I see they're doing a combination of processed cheese and cheddar cheese because it helps the binding and melting of some of the cheddar. I made a lovely little treat last night with macaroni and cheese. I had some leftover mac and cheese and I had some leftover chili, and I mixed them together. It was fucking scrumptious. I'm going to do it intentionally one of these days. And another chili discovery. Wendy's is now producing their chili in a can.
Oh.
I bought one and tried one, and it's not as good as the store bought, but it's perfectly good. Okay stuff. It doesn't cost me any more than any other. I love Wendy's chili. It has no spice whatsoever in it, which is perfect for a bland person like me.
Now here's one of those death photos if you want to see it.
Sure.
Let's see.
We'll look at anything.
This is off of the BBC.
Oh my God!
The youngest is dead and is propped up.
Oh my
children
God.
lined up for the photo.
Oh, no, that is just.
And this was very common back in the
Oh.
day.
This is really maudlin. I can't believe they did this.
Oh yeah, this is very common.
Oh,
Like I said, a lot of the times this was the only way they could have a picture of their child.
It's a really cute dress, though. But
I feel sorry
jeez, is that bizarre?
I know it's very bizarre, but now it's very bizarre. But back then it was actually very common.
Oh, it looks. If you zoom in, it looks like they tried to prop her eyes open somehow.
No, the eyes are closed. Well, no, maybe they're open up a little bit.
Yeah, well, you zoom in and you see that there's a central dark point.
Actually, yeah, there is. They are open slightly.
Okay, well, it fits with today's theme. We all evolve and don't do stuff anymore. Oh gosh.
Oh, yeah. This might be a bit disturbing one, but here this is close to what I found within the family photos I came across with the infant. It was only one infant in the picture I found, but
Now, are both these kids dead, or?
I think one is and the other isn't.
Well, get your pictures of the twins.
One twin has died, so yeah, only one of them is dead.
That must have been so fucking sad in those days. The high infant mortality. And, you have these kids and your little baby dies just because nobody understands disease theory or anything.
And the care for them is much lower too, and this mortality and the mortality of it actually only started going down in the early 19th century.
Yeah, but now it's going back up.
So yeah, it's going back up.
Well, in America, it's going back up.
Oh, interesting in the little thing. Ever see the movie They Live?
Mm-mm.
Or hear about it?
Mm-mm.
No, it's a good little. It's a John Carpenter movie. I'm gonna be actually covering it on Sunday, on my Sunday show this week. But basically, it's about these aliens that begin to infiltrate humanity, and they are basically putting us all to sleep and controlling us through subliminal messages and stuff. And it's actually the whole movie is actually a commentary on Reaganomics, believe it or not. And this one guy, he stumbles across these sunglasses that allows him to see through the veil of what the aliens have put up, and you can actually see the aliens and all the subliminal messaging all over the place. Like they have this guy's holding this all these dollar bills in his hand, and he looks down at the dollar bills, and the dollar bills read, "This is your God."
Well, that's perfectly believable.
And all this measures of obey, watch TV, reproduce, all this measures. Well, and near the end of the movie, here's a thing where they have a whole bunch of people who have sided with the aliens, and they're the ones who got a little money off the side and become rich, and you have the person. Duncan, shut up! I don't know if you can hear him or not.
No, I can't hear it at all.
Okay, go. I'll ignore him then. I got my bird screaming in the other room. But there, at the convention, the guy's talking up in the podium, talking was by 2025, it was predicted that they'll completely take over. Kind of feels a little prophetic there, huh?
Yeah. Very interesting. And besides, your bird's got a good idea. I'd like to be in another room screaming right now. So. Purple, that is a hilarious comment.
But it's an excellent movie. I should play it sometime for you.
Is it long?
Maybe a couple hours, hour and a half, somewhere in that range. It stars as Roddy Piper, or as well. They actually never actually give the name of the character in the movie, except in the title. It's called Nada, which is named after the character that the story is the movie is based off of in the stories.
Is that Rowdy Rudy, the wrestler
Yep,
guy?
the wrestler. Yeah, it was his first major movie role.
He didn't have any major movie roles.
Oh, he did. This was a major movie.
They were all B or C level movies.
No, this was a good movie.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it was. It was a good movie. It was an excellent movie. You'll like it. You're gonna like it.
Okay, but I'll say how bad it is if I feel it is. So don't take it personal.
For instance, here's a nice little. It's like I said, it was commentary. It was John Carpenter's commentary on Reaganomics. So here's a shot from the movie.
Oh, I didn't hear you say it was John Carpenter.
Yeah, it's a John Carpenter movie. It was his commentary on Reaganomics at the time.
Oh, okay, John Carpenter is brilliant, of course.
But there's a shot from the movie. That looks like it's from near the end.
I would have loved to have been part of his, I don't know if it's the most recent, but a film he's done in the last 10, 15 years. He's getting old, and I guess I think I saw him say that it was going to be his last film or something. But it was a kind of a documentary of himself going on a cross-country trip in a car. And I can't remember if he took somebody with him or if all they did was pick up strangers. But I would love to have been in the car with him on that trip. That would have been so much fun.
Here's a shot of him looking at all the subliminal messages through the sunglasses he had. When he's looking through the sunglasses, everything's black and white.
Well, that is very John Carpenter. Politically and socially, that's him. Work 8 hours, sleep 8 hours, play 8 hours, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a good movie.
Yeah, we could do that for a movie night. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You guys out there in the chat, you know what you're missing with not coming to movie nights on Thursdays at 11 Central. A lot of good stuff. Anime for sure, but we can do anything, can't we?
Oh yeah, If it exists, there's a good chance I can find it. Sometimes the really obscure stuff I can't, with mostly the foreign films. Those are real tricky.
We go to the server in Discord that Mage set up, and we can just watch it right through their little video chat channel.
Yep, just like I set up the StreamYards thing just like this, and you just go into the StreamYards and I can play stuff.
Oh no, I'm being stupid. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. I forgot, but it was probably something mentioning that I'm stupid and can't remember shit. I had a real rude old person forgetting shit this week. I could not, for the life of me, spell the word minute.
Oh, I hate when easy stuff just slips my mind.
Well, I can handle it now, MINUTE, but I could not get past the MIN. And it was very shocking. I mean, I've been freely mentioning that I miss words and sentences and stuff like that. But spelling? Are you kidding me? Spelling? I almost never misspell in my entire life.
Yeah, here's a comparison shot with where he takes his sunglasses on and off looking at the money. So he looks at the money with the glasses off, and then he puts them on, and he looks at it, the money again, and he says, "This is your God."
Ooh, I like it. Maybe we should watch Eraserhead too.
Oh yeah, that would be a good one too. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that movie myself. I'm gonna have to.
I wasn't a big fan of Boy and His Dog with what's his name who was in Miami Vice or whatever that program was. Don Johnson, I think. He's in some stupid TV series now. I can't believe they actually are playing a TV series of a ship's doctor. Okay, talk about your forced subjects. It's.
And speaking about Eraserhead, David Lynch recently died.
Yeah, that's very sad. But hey, he had a long and productive life.
Yeah,
he was only in his 70s. That disturbs me a lot when I see all these people who are dying and they're in their 70s. Because I've crossed that bridge now.
78.
In the next few years, I'm going to drop dead. Don't I even get to see my 80s? Or
Well, there's a possibility. Maybe.
I had another old person revelation. Another one of my dear car buddies died the other day.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
John Velocis. He was a guy who was into NSX cars. He was such a good mechanic and a very good driver. And he had pancreatic cancer and fought its ass off for almost 5 years before it took him. Never hear somebody going that long with pancreatic. But he's coming. And he, I haven't seen him because I moved from Milwaukee, but another mutual friend, my lawyer, was telling me how he was working on his race car 2 days before he died. And then it just took him, just absolutely splattered him on the sidewalk. It's very sad. In the last 12 months, I've lost 4 close friends. God, I hope I don't outlive all my friends.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's a reasonable response.
His funeral's tomorrow. Of course, I can't go. But he even knew the designer of the NSX, one of the principal designers of the NSX, and he videotaped a support message all the way from Japan to send it to John. And he loved the Mercedes race team. He tried to hold them as his I don't know what I can't think of the phrase. His measuring stick of how well he's doing and his attitude and methods. Which means nothing to everybody else. In the car world, the Mercedes race team is held up in very high regard. They were in an absolutely horrific crash that killed a bunch of people. Fire, damnation, all that kind of shit. And they gave up racing for decades because of it. And then finally, not too long ago, decided to get back into it. And they're kicking ass. But every time you see them, a car person can't help but think of their difficulties. Only the audience comes for the crashes. The car people don't see it that way.
I imagine.
I'm just glad that in all our years of racing, that the only people that got hurt were the mechanics under the car and the gravel. That would be me. I miss them all so much.
Yeah, come to my show Sunday. I'll sing a song for him.
No, you don't need to do that. That's okay. I hope to be normal by then. So, what about Lincoln? What do we want to know about him? Other than he's not really what people think he is.
Well, that's about what I know of him.
Well, at least he did the right thing at
Yeah.
And was able to separate the good of the country from his own personal good. Not so much unlike today's politicians.
Yeah, that's
care only of themselves. I can't decide what they have for dinner tonight.
I've got chicken.
Well, I'm almost there. I was my choice is an egg sandwich or a can of roast beef hash. I'm kind of leaning towards the hash right now. But Mage, I am so grateful to you for. I think of you every time I make an egg sandwich because I use the microwave. That's become my preferred method of cooking an egg for a sandwich. It's no good if you want the yolk runny. It just is. Every egg is so different from the last one, and they usually end up hard. It causes the egg to get fluffy. Okay, if you can imagine that, an egg with a yolk, the whites and yolk, getting fluffy like an omelet or scrambled eggs does, but it's still in the shape of an egg with the yolk, and it's just fucking wonderful. I love them. 2 minutes, boom, done.
Oh, did you know we have a death photo of Abraham Lincoln?
I have seen those around. In fact, my friend's Lincoln thing had a picture of him, but sure, let's give it a look.
This is actually one we were using his coffin.
Yeah, well, better than, say, in the chair at the theater.
Yeah.
Actually, he looks rather good. I kind of assumed that the bullet would have come through his face.
I'm pretty sure they fixed him up, but I didn't even realize they had cameras back in his time.
Oh man!
At the time when I first came across the photo.
The first silver halide photograph was taken in the late 1700s.
Yeah, I mean, I know that now, but at the time I didn't know it when I first came across the photo.
Matthew Brady. Does that ring a bell?
Hmm.
Matthew Brady was the commensurate Civil War photographer. A large number of the very gruesome pictures of the Civil War he took.
Here's another one that's framed. This looks like he's when he's on his deathbed here.
Oh, wow.
Of a sculpture from his death mask.
Oh, yeah, that's another weird thing they used to do. Back in '64, my family took a vacation to Washington, D.C., and we got to see all the cool stuff. And we toured the FBI building. And they have a death mask of some gangster. Who was it? John? I think it was John Dillinger. But I don't remember exactly who it was. But it was really weird to see that. It was like, oh, I'm holding the dead guy's face.
Yeah, they molded it after they're dead. That's the death mask.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least you don't have to stick those straws in their nose then.
No, I have had a mask molded of my face in high school. It wasn't we were doing it as an art project. We do the face mask and then we painted it.
And how did yours look? Anyone you recognize?
I don't remember.
You had to recognize that it was you.
No, I don't remember how it turned out.
Well, people cast all kinds of body parts. I really always like the one where people will, like shake hands and get a cast made of that. I just think that's very cool.
Are you talking about John Dillinger's death mask?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, isn't that weird? Jeez. He used to be really popular in Wisconsin. He spent lots of money in various resorts and stuff in the North Woods.
Apparently, this one we're looking at is in the Alcatraz East Criminal Museum.
Oh, so maybe the one I saw in DC was a copy.
Possibly.
Well,
or maybe this. Well, it might all be copies. But
yeah, once you make the mold, you can make as many as you want.
Mm.
I'd like to get this John Dillinger mask and get like 100 of them, and you could like put little LEDs in the lights, and then stake them into your yard at the sidewalk to be a sidewalk illumination. I can't believe I thought of that.
I could see you doing that too. Here's an Al Capone one I came across. Oh, wait, that didn't go through. Did it go through? Yeah, here we go. There, Al Capone.
Yeah, Donald Trump was treated much worse than he was.
Frank growing up was a direct descendant of Al Capone. I had when I was growing up around here.
Yeah. Pardon my yawn again. I'm going to do exactly oh, David Lynch. Yeah. The weirdest scene I ever saw David Lynch responsible for was in Twin Peaks when the episode surrounded on this guy who died of spontaneous combustion. And there's this charred chair with his body shape in it, and It's just so bizarre.
I've seen a number of those. Yeah.
I wonder if that really happens. Spontaneous human combustion.
It's questionable. It's usually from other things like person smoking.
Yeah. It's curious. I wonder. I mean, I'd like, if I was smart enough, I'd like to look at the chemistry and find out if something like that could actually happen. I can't really see it. I don't think there's any chemicals volatile enough inside people to do that. But, you know, I don't know everything. That's for damn sure.
Let's see what the criticism is through your suggested explanations. Scientific consensus is that indicates which might appear as spontaneous combustion and did in fact have an external source of ignition, and that spontaneous human combustion without an external ignition source is extremely implausible. Pseudoscientific hypotheses have been presented with attempts to explain how it could happen, which might occur without an external flame source. Benjamin Radford, science writer and deputy editor of the science magazine and Skeptical Inquirer, casts doubts on the plausibility of spontaneous human combustion if SHC is a real phenomenon, not the result of an elderly or infirm person in being too close to a flame source. And so why doesn't it happen more often? There are 8 billion people in the world as today in 2024, and yet we don't see reports of people bursting into flames while walking down the street, attending football games, or sipping a cup coffee at the local Starbucks. Good point. You'd think we'd have some good photos of it with cameras and all that.
Excuse me. There was just a guy on PBS who was talking about his 150 tons worth of rocks that he's found and brought home. They look like just average rocks. They don't look like jewels or crystals. Oh, I see what he does. He has photographs, and then he uses the rocks to create a dimensionality and foreground for the photograph. I see. Pretty ugly.
There's another list of hypotheses, such as the wick effect, with somebody smoking a cigarette and burning them up, or scalding that can look like burn-like injuries.
The fucker hand cuts his stones into sheets. Well, that's pretty nuts. Public television. And Trump's going after public TV now, too. Did you hear that?
PBS thing?
Yeah. Fortunately, they're not totally dependent on government funding, and it's mostly you and I who pay for public nowadays. But one executive order, and he could pull the license, which is what he's going to do. I'm sure of it. They're just going to end the things that they don't like through executive order.
Or what they can do with executive order. Even if they can't do it through executive order, they're going to try, apparently.
Mm-hmm. And as I mentioned to you when we were private, I do have a certain amount of concern that myself and my community cohorts could end up in Guantanamo or something equally as ugly.
Well, they are sending a lot of migrants there, apparently. Setting up something like 30,000 beds.
Yeah, I heard two different trans people on live panels on TikTok in the last week who both said something similar, that they have heard government officials saying that they want to put trans people in Guantanamo. So I'm not just making that up. Maybe the person I heard from is, but I'm reporting what they said. And wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the slogan I made is about the Republicans, that their cruelty is their goal and eradication is their mission.
Well, at the very least, it looks like we're going to have a 2026 election.
Well, it's on the books anyway.
So it'd be a good time for us to try and fight back, at the very least, try and get a majority, in Congress.
Yeah.
So,
that, I think, is a distinct possibility with all the people who have become regretters.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many regretters there are so soon after the inauguration.
Yeah, if they haven't completely rigged the whole system, there is a pretty good chance of this being a one-term thing.
Well, let's hope, because if you're the dictator, that doesn't mean somebody can tell you to leave office.
I hear about they already tried to. Somebody already tried to put through get it Trump a third term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's constitutional amendment they are trying to get through. The Federalist Society wants that.
Well, I think we're kind of running out of things to say. But
Oh, I don't know. I can babble forever.
How about we wrap this up?
How does the audience feel about that? We're here for you guys, so what you say matters
Yes.
a great deal. God, they're showing this hand woven materials. It's always been amazing to me how they can do jacquard materials and things like that. Jacquard is a fabric with a raised woven pattern. Most often seen in silks and satins and that sort of thing. But you can do it in anything.
I don't see much going on with the chat. So,
well, kids. Then I think Mage is going to leave us, and I'll just have to talk to myself the rest of the day.
I'm running things, so I'm gonna have to close things down here.
Well, I have to pee anyway.
All right. Any closing words from Jenny?
Just going back to the opening of my babbling. Please, if you're an ally, we need you to be active, to actually do something, not just talk and support us that way, but to get some letters written and do it more than once. They don't count who is writing, they count whether somebody has or not. And they really do collect letters and count them up. That's why these pressure campaigns like a million moms can have a letter campaign and sway legislation, even though a million moms only had 20 people in it.
How about I play my the song I released on my channel?
Sure.
Kittens of Destruction.
Small and fierce with tiny claws, they wreck your stuff from dusk till dawn. Tiny thunderous paws, chaos brings her hearts its song. Purring sounds before the rage. Tiny beasts escape the cage. Broken vases shattered across the hall. They rule the night with tiny brawls. Kittens of destruction, they shall bow their triangle heads to me. Fury in fur and eyes that gleam, whiskers twitch with rage. Worlds collide, or so it seems, masters of their havoc hall, turning homes into frenzied dread. Mischief, mayhem, chaos grows. Little tyrants steal the show. Kittens of destruction, they shall bow their triangle heads to me. Plotting mischief out of sight, midnight ruckus, fearless fight, terrors of the moonlit night. Kittens of destruction, they shall bow their triangle heads to me. Fury, mischief out of sight, midnight ruckus, fearless fight, terrors of the moonlit night.
Needs more pictures. You know, like a kitten actually lighting a fuse, or you know, hitting something with a jackhammer, or.
Well, anyway, you can go onto my channel and subscribe if you like that. I'll be probably doing more, or I'll probably put the hero video up I played earlier. And if you like, want to go see the Thursday midnight shows on Eastern. Here's my Discord channel. You can subscribe there and go check out the shows I put on then. I'll be doing a Sunday show news at 8 p.m. Eastern, where I do some singing, and like I said, I'll be covering trivia for the movie They Live, and I'll be reading the original story that was inspired by that movie.
Which is?
What was it again? I don't remember the name of it. 8 o'clock something.
I don't know the plot of what you're talking about, so I'm looking for a hint or two.
Somebody starts seeing aliens that have been hiding in using some kind of hypnosis to hide it from everybody, and so suddenly he can start seeing the aliens for what they really are. It's a short story.
Okay.
It was the story that inspired They Live.
You know, one of my favorite stories or movies I saw was Harrison Ford was in it, I believe. Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, that.
It's such a ridiculous premise.
That was such a stupid movie.
Well, but then when I thought that the technology, of course, today is limited compared to what we have now, and so they had to fight them with what they had, and it looked plausible, you know. Except I would have believed that the aliens could wipe them all out in a split second. But how they portrayed it, it was kind of slightly believable.
Well, anyway, unless you got anything else to add, I'll close this thing down.
It'd be like zombie cheerleaders. That's your next project, zombie cheerleaders.
I think they've done that one too. Anyway.
Everything's been done. There's 7 stories on the planet. They're all repeats.
All right, well, closing out here. So see you later.
Take care, chat. We love you guys.